The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. Back to Henrico County, Virginia for Richmond Raceway here on PTR TV. It may feel like deja vu because Sunday night we were back here with the Triple Bypass Cup Series, but just here on the day of Tuesday, we have now announced a new series, and we are here again with the Triple Bypass ARCA Series, and we're here at that very same Richmond Raceway. Who can tame the 3/4 mile short track? We'll find that answer out at about 90 minutes time. Welcome everybody to PTR TV for today's coverage. As I said, the Triple Bypass ARCA Series. We're going to be bringing you a fair amount of these races here. It is the Cultured Designs 125. That is our race here today. We raced 150 laps on Sunday, cutting it down to 125 here this evening. Brad is not available here. He is not feeling too great, some medical issues, but luckily Patrick Reckus Coleman here, he helps out on our Elbows Out broadcast. And, well, Patrick, these guys are going to have their elbows out here fighting on the short track.
Indeed. Like you said, this is a very short track here in Richmond. It is just barely over 3/4 of a mile, 0.759 or 0.72 miles, depending on where you look. But, I mean, it is a short track, so these ARCA cars are going to have a bit of a tough time navigating through, especially so tightly knit together in this pack.
Yeah, exactly that here. And iRacing, again, as I always kind of allude to, because people may wonder why this track advertised at 0.75, but iRacing measures their tracks off of the actual racing line. So racing line takes a couple hundredths of a second off of that. But today's race is sponsored, and it is sponsored by Terry Brooks, the number 23 car. So we want to thank him for helping put today's broadcast on. I just figured out that we're going to do this broadcast at about 1 p.m. Eastern time, so about 7 hours of time, but we're going to be giving you a fair amount. I know there's a couple races that'll be on a different channel as well, so you'll get your ARCA fix in, but we have qualifying up right now. Let's kind of get a gander at where the times stand. Chad Winstead, 21.389. Look how tight first to second, only 6/1000ths of a second, Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, it is super close here on this circuit. I mean, it's really awesome to see how tight this field is. Like you said, 6/1000ths of a second, and even then, a majority of this field, if you look like from P1 all the way down to about P13, are within 1/10 of a second, and this whole field is separated by 1.2 seconds here for P1 all the way down to P24. So it's going to be tight racing here, as it always is on these short tracks in these ARCA machines. And I mean, I'm looking forward to it because this is shaping up to be a really awesome race. A new series here on PTR TV, and honestly, I'm glad to be along for the ride.
Yeah, new car here, the ARCA car. I was actually kind of queuing up to race this race tonight, but, you know, it's kind of cool being on the top end and the bottom end. I did race with these guys last night as well, so I actually have some fun racing with these drivers, and they have been kind of welcoming me in here and having some fun. But about 10 seconds from now, we'll get down trackside, so this gives us the opportunity to thank everyone for tuning in here to PTR TV. If it's your first time, don't make it your last. Hit the like and subscribe button. Looking for 1,800 subscribers on YouTube, and a little bit of help from you will certainly help us get there. And we'll head down trackside for that starting lineup. Things will be a little bit different with how this race is, so we'll have to get you warmed up to that compared to how we race on Sunday nights. But let's go give you that PTR TV starting lineup. Chad Winstead on the pole with that lap time 21.389, with Alan Kunman going to be rolling off in P2. Third, we have Adam Schoen, some new names that I'm not privy to pronunciations on, but Steve McClendon, our Cup champion, in the 4th spot. Tyler Merritt in 5th, Brad Kress in 6th, Dylan Freeman in 7th, not running an Averill car. Adam Boss, or Bossy, I'm going to say Boss, in 8th, and then Justin Baxter and Mark Herzog in 10th there, Patrick.
And then taking to the next parts of the grid, we have Matt Harmon and Caleb Brown, P11 to B12, and then going down the row, we have Ben Harcum and Daniel Williams. And then next up, we have Mark Jarrell and Al Corey. And then we have James Honeycutt, Cameron Kane, and then Ward Fisher and Terry Brooks round out our top 20.
Terry Brooks, our race sponsor. We got 6 more to let you know about. Alex Squire in the 47 car will roll off in 21st, with Donald Risto there in 22nd. 23rd finds Josh Duncan, not Donuts, but Josh Duncan. Tyler Rulas, he is in our YouTube chat, but he's also in the race from San Diego. His arms didn't make the picture. 25th and 26th, Kyle Gresh and Nicholas Deal. His deal is being shotgun on the field. Our weather conditions say from virtual Richmond, Henrico County to be specific, very cool, 65 air, 66 track, no humidity to speak of. Of course, it's an oval race, so there is no moisture. And then our race details a little bit different here, and this will be interesting with the strategies, Patrick, because the 125 laps, no stage, a straightforward NASCAR race, but only 1 set of tires to avail. So if this does turn into a caution fest, which it's a short track, it could, you're going to have to be very, very discerning, very careful on when to pull the trigger on that set of tires.
Indeed. Although from what we were talking about just before the broadcast, tire wear shouldn't really be an issue here around this track. In the real world it is, but with iRacing's current tire model for these ARCA cars, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that big of a problem. And considering the fact that it is nighttime as well, so it's going to be cooler temperatures, the tires won't take as much of a beating. But yeah, with only 1 set of tires to play with, it is going to be really tricky, and you really got to be smart about how you do your strategies.
Al Corey did tell us that he practiced a 50-lap run with minimal fall-off, but if we go longer than that, you know, there might be a cliff to be had. But will we go 50-plus laps? We don't know. 125 laps, this race could only be about 45 minutes long if it goes full green, but let's see what these drivers have in store for us. The Triple Bypass Season 9 ARCA Series, green flag, Barney's waving it, and we're getting going from the action track.
Indeed, we are getting going here. Alan Kunman going ahead and taking the outside line in the first place. Himself and Chad Winstead in the number 97, trading positions back and forth as we get through our first lap here at Richmond. It is very tight between these first two. Looks like a bit of a wiggle there, maybe from Alan. But so far, everybody has kept it clean, and we have made it through lap 1 here around this short track, which is very impressive to see. It is very impressive to see how tight these cars are battling. Alan Kunman tucked up right behind the number 97 Ford Mustang of Chad Winstead. And he is going to try to make a move around the outside, but moves on this track are much easier said than done here, Corey. Yeah,
a little bit further back, I see an inkling of 3 wide, but luckily they did think better of it. We have Brad Kress, Adam Boss there, and that number 83, that Twitch Mustang to the outside of the track with Brad Kress. I believe he was deemed the Xfinity winner of that Season 8 championship, if memory serves. If not, I'm sure I will get corrected. But the wall was something that drivers were hitting aplenty on Sunday night, and clearly that is carrying over here. Turn 2 was ultra difficult. Let's see if they can get off turn number 2. Looks like most everyone evades the fence, but Al Corey did let us know that the yellow line is going to be where you want to be. A couple drivers trying that outer lane, and you can see that Polaroid car finding out the hard way. Caleb Brown about that wall.
Indeed.
Caution.
Already it is lap 5, and it's the number 47 having a bit of a moment there.
Alex Squire, the Taco Bell ride is not living boss, is living. Yeah, I don't got a joke for that one, but yeah, just lost it on his own. It is Tuesday. If you have the Taco Bell app around 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, you can get yourself a $1 prize every week. This week it was a Nachos Bel Grande. Unfortunately, I was not one of the first 10,000 or whatever, so I didn't get the coupon.
I don't even know if there's even a Taco Bell around me. I don't think I've had Taco Bell since I graduated college.
You're not missing much.
It's been a while. It was really funny because considering my college was next to like 3 or 4 different fast food joints, there's options aplenty here. So Taco Bell was a pretty popular one amongst my classmates. I usually just went to McDonald's, but actually, come to think of it, I don't think I've even really had fast food much since I graduated college.
Well, your insides are a fan of you, and mine are not, but I am trying to my elder state's age. Trying to eat a little bit better there. But the Taco Bell car, because of that little self-spin, we saw a lot of those self-spins on Sunday night, but because he went through the grass, he should be all well and fine, and as predicted, nobody is coming into the pits. We did get privied that estimated fuel load right around 100 laps. I mean, I'm sure if there's enough caution flags, you may be able to stretch this whole thing out, but there's probably going to be a lap. I'd say if caution comes out maybe lap 30, 40, I think everybody will come in, top off, and again, we'll see what the tire wear ends up being, if anything at all. Indeed, yeah.
It'd be pretty silly for anyone to kind of make a pit stop at this stage of the race unless they have damage, and then at that point it's pretty understandable why you'd make a stop here, but for the most part there's nobody going to be making a pit stop at this stage, as I believe we're about to go ahead and go green here very, very shortly.
Yes, indeed the case here, going with 1 to green. Leader does not have lane choice in this series. I do have it on Sundays, but I don't think that'll be anything of interest here because everyone's going to want that bottom of the racetrack. Anyways, coming through 3 and 4. Pace car pulls off to the safety of the pit lane, and we'll get our first restart of the Culture Designs 125 up and at a huge hole shot advantage for Chad Winstead here. That gives Kunman an easy follow down into the inside lane for second. And then basically single file top 5 right off the get-go there.
Indeed, you see a few cars going too wide here as we go ahead and get started back on lap number 9 out of 125. And then Alan Kunman going up the inside, the Mobile 1 Toyota trying to get a move done onto the Hot Wheels Mustang, the number 97, trying to hold that outside line. He's got a good amount of pace there. But once again, like we were talking about earlier, you want to be on that inside line. So that does inherently give the advantage to Alan, but Chad has been doing a very good job of just positioning his car in such a way that Alan is just unable to get a move done here. So he's going to have to really try to get a beautiful draft here if he wants to get this overtake done.
Well, we'll try to change lines up here and try a little bit different things here. We see some drivers using that second lane. I saw that Polaroid car again. That's Caleb Brown. He said that he was going to make himself famous here in the Discord, and he's doing that because of how much he's hitting the wall. Ben Harcum, he hit the wall a bajillion times on Sunday night. I thought he was going to be racing here today. He is, actually. Ben Harcum. I was supposed to have a Ben Harcum wall counter. So far, I don't think he's hit it. But what in the world? Is that a silver and blue Dr. Pepper car? What is this? Oh, it's a Jurassic Park, I was going to say.
That's kind of an underrated
contact.
Dr. Pepper.
Contact. Commentator's curse. That was Adam Boss trying to dent the can there, trying to really cause some situations there. He got loose, and Harcum almost an innocent bystander, but they carry on.
Indeed, that could have been a whole lot worse. That could have brought out our second caution of the evening here at Triple Bypass Racing. Luckily, it did not. Like we said, that could have been much worse of an incident here. Just moving through the field, a few drivers trying to jockey for position here. The Flow Racing Mustang here trying to go ahead and stick it around the outside. That is the number 9 of Brad Kress, trying to keep ahead of Steve McClendon here.
Yep, our series champion, 2 consecutive years in the Cup division, of course, but having some fun here. In the ARCA series. What is the sponsor on that car? I can't quite tell if it was Shake Shack or something to that effect, but either way, Chad Winstead leading this thing through by about 0.2 of a second. That advantage over Alan Kunman was he was held on to that battle, and He's doing a little bit of a different line there, Patrick. He's doing a late entry, you know, doing that higher entry, and I think Alan Kunman learned that, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to do the second part of that, which is the cut down to get yourself the good run for corner exit.
Indeed, and I mean, like on a small track, like the track we are currently on, it is extremely difficult, so you're going to have to get a little brave and try to experiment with these lines, like the different routes. It looks like Alan Kunman is going to try to fire it up the inside. The number 3 Mobile 1 Toyota trying to
wiggle.
get it. A little bit of a snap there, which allows Chad Winstead to keep that position with that number 97 Hot Wheels Ford Mustang. He is doing his best to keep Alan Kunman behind. But you got to really think, with this dirty air, how much are Alan's tires being affected?
Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of a catch-22 there, as 97 really opening the door, the 3 trying to fit in, but, you know, tire wear is quite minimal from everything that we've heard, but maybe, you know, still being in this battle, is it almost like a free battle in terms of the tire wear? If the tires aren't wearing out, maybe you can race as hard as you want, or maybe still there might be a little bit of a late run detriment for that number 3, so we'll keep an eye on that. But and look at the difference between second and third. That is 1.2 seconds. Let's pull up the telemetry on third place. That's Adam Schoen. He has already fallen 1.2 seconds off that lead duo. Look at Alan Kunman. He's all the way up there ripping the Larson line effectively. Not something that we see too often here at Richmond.
Yeah, I mean, like we said earlier, you got to experiment with these lines to try to get a good run, to try to get an overtake. And, I mean, Alan Kunman is trying everything in the book to try to get past Chad Winstead here. He's going to try yet again. He's been really close, and these two are definitely the drivers to really keep an eye on. They seem to have very strong pace considering the rest of the field. We'll see, can Alan Kunman get the pass this time? It looks like he might finally have the move. He might finally stick it, but for how long can he keep it? Oh, they get really close for contact.
Yeah, super wiggly on corner exit. He needs that extra real estate to get that car up to the wall, to get the power down, and obviously that 97 of Winstead taking that real estate away from him, and he'll fall back in line, may have to regroup for a minute, but while he regroups, we'll watch a battle here. That's Al Corey and Mark Gerald there. This is a battle for 18th and 19th. We got Canadian Tire and Cinnabon. Maybe you can get yourself a Cinnabon on your way to Canadian Tire for whatever your Canadian Tire needs might be. A little bit further up, who is that? That is Adam Boss, and that is Cameron Kane in the Aflac car. Get that, still get that voice down pat, but that's 13th spot. Again, they are all still packed up here, probably from about, I'd say, Dylan Freeman in the 9th spot all the way back to about 15th or so.
Indeed, and the drivers have been going pretty steady here. We've so far had only a singular caution when it was a self-spin earlier on from Alex Squire, but these drivers have been doing really good. They've been racing really close to each other, and I mean, it's tricky because in doing research for today's race, we know that this track, like you said earlier, can be a caution fest. So far, it has not been that. We've actually been getting some really strong racing here as the number 76, James Honeycutt, is going to try to get it moved onto Dylan Freeman. But once again, just like the battle up at the front with Chad Winstead and Alan Kunman, it is so tricky to get a move that actually sticks, as Justin Baxter has a really good view of the CM Punk number 31 and the 76 just up ahead.
No idea what that is. For the longest time, Dylan Freeman's drove an Avril Lavigne car. CM Punk, sorry, I'm too old for that. I don't know if you're a young whippersnapper enough for that, but we'll talk about that in a second because we're going back for the lead. Kunman is taking the chance down to the inside. It looks like that upper lane starting to look a little bit advantageous here, and look at the run he gets on corner exit. Let's see if he does it in turn 1 and 2, all the way up, kind of running that second seam and straddling it, and gets that run. He gets free off the corner, but hangs on to it. But all the while, Adam Schoen, 079, he is dialing himself in, trying to get this battle, a 3-car battle for the lead.
Yeah, he's definitely shown himself in the rearview mirrors of Alan Kunman and Chad Winstead here. Pretty much waiting to capitalize if one of these drivers has a mistake or if there's any contact. Adam is going to go ahead and inherit the lead here in that 079 Mustang. So he's getting the inside line. He's getting actually pretty close to his field. We were saying earlier that he was about like 1.2 seconds off, 1.3 seconds off at some stages. But now, considering how aggressively Chad and Alan have been battling it out, Adam has really had a good chance here to go ahead and show himself to these other drivers up ahead. As now we look at the number 78 Jurassic World Dr. Pepper machine.
And look at that shine. Look at that. I think it's a metallic or something.
So pretty.
Yeah, thank God iRacing updated the spec maps at night. Normally in the past, that car would have not had that bedazzle to it. But Ben Harcum there, again, he's battling the 37 of Cameron Kane, and Cameron Kane is doing the same thing that Winstead is doing. He's making that outside lane work. I don't think the outside lane is the lane you want to run by yourself. I think at that point, you know, you're not going to run max lap speed up there, but you can play some damn good defense running that outside lane. Another shot for Kunman, and some more defense played by Winstead. And here comes Kunman. You can see he's getting impatient. He's starting to make bigger lunges, but he just can't do anything with it.
Yeah, the Mobile 1 car is trying to get into P1 here, but he has so far just been very unsuccessful. The Hot Wheels car of Chad Winstead has just been too hot to handle here in the early stages of this race. As we're approaching that 1/3 distance, we're already over a fifth of the way through this race here at Richmond. Lap 33 out of 125, just now starting lap 34. But I mean, this battle's been going on for quite some time, but it's allowed Adam Schoen to really just get right in their mirrors here and just be an ever-present threat. And that's something that these two got to really think about too. If they keep battling like this, they're going to keep losing time to the number 79 behind, and it's going to give him a real chance of getting a win here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just makes you wonder if he actually manages to get by, then I would say that Kunman would probably just drive off into the proverbial moonset here and just, you know, steal this race. But as it currently stands, you know, he's just getting some great defense played, and we'll see how that works for him in the long haul. Someone looking to make a move, Steve McClendon. Actually, I don't know if he's looking to make a move or if he has fallen behind. And is that an Al Corey something on that car? Rafters, turn 4, Shake Shack. I'm sure there's some Al Corey inside joke there that I'm not privy to, but interesting livery or paint scheme, depending on which side of the pond you want to put your personality to there, for Steve McClendon. A little bit further back, and again, this is the gaggle, this is the Hornet's Nest, this is the big pack. Again, take your pick there on verbiage. Cam Kane to the outside, Adam Boss to the inside. Behind that, Justin Baxter, and then the 23 rather, our race sponsor. Again, want to give a shout out Terry Brooks there. He's on the outside, that Cultured Designs car for the Cultured Designs 125.
He's doing a really good job here in the number 23 to not get overly involved. It's a bit of a tap there from, I believe that was the 37 of Cameron Kane.
Up the track!
The wall. Ooh, this is going to get dicey here. We'll see. We see a car blinking out of existence. But, oh, once again, it's another brush. You could say a brush of death, but a brush of caution is more accurate here at this race. That could have been super dicey. We're seeing a few cars give a little love tap to the wall around the outside of the circuit here. And we're heading back down, a bit further down the field, just to see another very spicy battle here. It is an all Chevrolet back four here in this current battle. So the number 25 of, ooh, that's getting very dicey here.
We got a Nicholas Deal, the Mountain Dew car, and then the Cinnabon dropping back. So I don't know what if Cinnabon is a Coke or a Pepsi vendor, but either way, get yourself a Mountain Dew with your Cinnabon. And if you don't like Mountain Dew, then you can go back to the 25 of Donald Risteau there. That's the Coca-Cola car, and the unsponsored car of Ward Fisher. Huge impact. That Cinnabon fell on the floor and is completely full of concrete dust. I don't know if you're still going to want to bite out of it, but that's what Mark Gerald has given us with that huge wall contact. And here we go, battle for the lead.
Oh, here we go.
Three cars.
Once again, the Mobile 1 car trying to get into P1. And this time, I think he might actually have it. For once in this race, I think Alan Kunman is going to get this move to stick. But once again, we have that number 97 of Chad Winstead going around the outside. trying to put the foot to the floor, pedal to the metal, trying to get back into that P1 position. And maybe they put some Mountain Dew inside of the engine of that number 97 because he is doing the business here tonight.
Well, depending what your beverage of choice might be, it may want to be actually some Coors Light because Tyler Merritt in that number 38 Coors Light Chevy SS is looking to join the battle. So makes you wonder, you know, our lap times. Well, I'll take that thought back for a second because Schoen, he was going for second for a second, and now Merritt has saw that opening, you know, take advantage, and then he tried to go for third. All of these guys at it, but what I was trying to get the point of is let's take a look at our times there, Patrick. We were told 2:03.10. No, we've fallen off about 8/10 at about 50 laps. It's not huge, but that's enough to be tangible.
Yeah, the drivers are definitely going to be feeling that here. And it may allow for some of these other drivers who have tires that aren't as worn to potentially get a move done. As Ellen Kudman and Chad Winstead getting very close to each other as Tyler Merritt does jump up into third. He is now rightfully in this battle for the lead here. We have Chad Winstead going for the outside line. Allen in the middle trying to go ahead and get the move to stick. And these two have been trading blows the entire race. It's like watching a boxing match out here at Richmond.
It's just, this is what Richmond used to be, Patrick. Back in the early days, as you know, I love to age myself. This is what Richmond used to be. You'd run side by side for laps on laps on laps, and it'd be fun at first, but, and I'll say this still to be the truth, when you're side by side like this for laps on laps on laps, it's fun. But there gets a point where it's like, oh my God, let me by. I need to get by you. I can't keep doing this anymore. And you know that that is what's going through Cundon's mind, especially because now Tyler Merritt, he might split the middle. So all this time, Cundon's going for the lead. Now he's going to be put 3 wide. Merritt all the way down to the bottom, thought better of it. I think we're going to be nearly 4 wide with the lap car of Tyler Rulis going to the outside.
This is getting very spicy here as we approach the 50 lap mark here in this race. Still a good amount of racing to go, but these drivers are going to push it to the limit here as Tyler Merritt is going to try to go up the inside, going 3 wide here. And does Tyler Merritt get a pass one, get one free special here? No, not quite, but man, that was looking pretty entertaining. But Adam Schoen might go ahead and try to get a move down here as well.
Finally, did he get it? Did he get it? No, hanging on by the skin of his teeth is Chad Winstead. I was almost positive that Gunman had that lead finally, but no, Winstead got the run by the skin of his teeth on corner exit, stays to the outside, and all the while, again, we've had Merritt take third, Schoen back to fourth. Brad Kress, he's shown his hat in the mix here. And again, we have a pit stop to be had at some point in this race. 100% fuel load. They can go roughly 100 laps. Are they going to choose to? The tire wear is starting to get up there. The lap time deg is about a second now. This race is, I don't want to say this race has green flag flair because anything can happen with as hard as these guys are battling, and especially if that 38 wants to keep doing 3 wide moves.
Indeed. The main thing I am imagining here when it comes to just Tyler Merritt and how he keeps trying to split these cars is, I'll summarize it really quickly. It's a scene from a kid's movie called Hot Wheels Accelerators where one car goes in between the middle 2 cars and proceeds to wipe both of those cars out and just continues to drive off into the distance. And Tyler Merritt is going to try not to wreck anyone, but he's going to try to get the same result of getting past both of these cars and trying to slingshot off in the distance. I think he's got to move down onto Alan Kudman, and he gets to pass one, get one free special. Contact between Kudman and Chad Winstead, and that's going to drop Kudman several positions.
Yeah, Merritt will get the lead, but let's take a look at our PTR TV replay. Let's take a look here with Alan Kudman. He got off the corner. The 97 didn't get off the corner. I think he had to check up hard to get off the wall there. Something happened behind that as well. Alex Squire had an issue. I'm not sure what that was. Something else happened in the back of the shot. We missed it, but either way, let's go back to live footage where now, all the while, Kudman going for the race lead. He gets nothing out of it, and Tyler Merritt, you know, showing that Merritt, making those passes, making those guys afraid with those aggressive moves. Didn't do anything wrong, didn't ruffle a feather, has the race lead, and he's pulling away.
That is the opposite of a commentator's curse if I've ever seen one. That is a commentator blessing. As we go ahead and get an instant replay here of
Duncan.
The numbers. Yeah,
Josh
77.
Duncan, pardon me, not John. Josh Duncan there. That was what we saw at the back of the shot prior, but let's go back to live footage. Merritt already out by a second. This is what I predicted. If Cutman was able to get the lead, he was going to drive off, and the Merritt, that name's going to walk myself into a lot of sentences there, but he was going to drive off in the same way that Merritt's doing right now. Huge slide from Schoen, and they almost met in the entry of turn number 3 there, but now Mark Herzog, the In-N-Out Burger car with a Snoopy there. Little contact from Schoen into the wall. Herzog, he is going to try to figure out where to go, and Cunman there in that number 5 position, that 3 car. You got to feel for him. And whoa, he didn't make the corner at all. Huge contact from Adam Schoen. That wasn't even close to making the corner exit.
Yeah, I mean, that tire degradation is starting to rear its ugly head here in Richmond for this Mustang. He's going to try to, he's pretty much right into slipstream here of Chad Winstead, and then just boop.
Dirty air wash.
Just had a contact with the wall.
I know you're not an oval guy, particularly, Patrick, but draft here would probably be like 0.01%, but certainly what a draft is not for speed, it is aero push, and that is certainly what these guys will be witnessing here today. But Adam Schoen, after that wall contact, smart move, takes it right to the pits. They do have the fast repair. We'll follow him into his stall. This is not the sportsman way to drive pit lane for those who don't know iRacing. Traditionally, you don't do that. But did he take his fast repair? He did not. Because you would see an instant little pop, essentially, and that's, the fast repair is engaging instantly. He didn't do that, which after that wall contact, I'm quite flabbergasted why he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense for him to try to get that pit stop done as well. I mean, I figured he would have actually used that fast repair just to get back on track as quick as possible. But, I mean, I think he was the driver suffering the most with the tire degradation. We could see it. He was going wide on quite a few corners, had a good amount of wall contact, and overall, I think he was the driver who was suffering the most. As we see a few other cars fire on into the pits.
Patrick, I gotta continue roasting. These guys know me at this point. I've covered them for a full season. They know me in the booth and my style, and I will roast them when I feel the need to roast them. And you've covered enough iRacing that you could probably justify this as well. When you are in the pits, you stay in the pits, in the pit lane, in the travel lane, similar to your highway. You have your passing lane, you have your acceleration lane, but you don't just drive through the pit stalls, guys. Come on, it's cheesy. It makes this look like a game. It's a sim. Corey, that's the end of my little TED Talk.
I mean, considering if they did that in the real world, they would get slammed with fines and penalties, so that definitely checks out.
I think it's actually a protestable offense on the official side of iRacing. I know I did actually submit it, and I got the protest successful memo, so I think it actually is a protestable offense, to be honest with you. But I'm sure after this it'll be a new rule, so you guys can blame me for that afterwards. But I saw Cam Kane in the Aflac car getting dead sideways there. As we're still waiting for the pit stop. Let's pull up the ticker, and you'll see the stint lengths, and a couple drivers have 59 lap runs, and that's because they pitted on that one and only caution. But there's probably another 20 to 30 laps of available fuel, although the tires are dropping off still about 1 second. But here's the problem, Patrick. If you pit early, which some drivers already have, you are absolutely banking on no yellows. Because if a yellow comes out, you're probably a lap, if not 2 down.
Yeah, I mean, that's always just a gamble you're going to have to take. I mean, especially in Adam Schoen's case, because I know he had damage, which is still baffling. He didn't use the quick repair for it, but getting back on topic here. I mean, it's pretty much you have two schools of thought here. Either you go for as long as humanly possible, and hopefully drivers don't do that, so the chance of a caution goes down, or you try to go ahead and go for the undercut.
Save it. He saves it. He was going for third or second even. But huge slide from Herzog. We caught it live. I won't cut to replay. But yeah, you got to hope that doesn't happen. In down to 7th for him. It won't be catastrophic, but takes him out of that battle for 2nd that he was in. And I'm shocked he stayed out. I figured that would have been an instant cue to pit, but Winstead, 37 of Cam Kane, he already pitted, so this is just getting, this is the whole old tire, new tire, meeting in the middle. But here's Kunman trying to get some spots back, still trying to complete the pass that he never completed the first time, try to get underneath Winstead again. Still can't do it.
Indeed. He's going to try, but once again, he's still unsuccessful, considering that those tires are 70 laps old at this stage of the race. You would think that one of these drivers would try to undercut, but once again, that undercut strategy here tonight is so dependent on the lack of a full course caution that your undercut just gets thrown straight out the window. But I think Alan Kunman finally has his pass done and dusted after who knows how many attempts.
Yeah, it only cost him, he fell back to 6th after that little faux pas that Winstead had that he got the worst end of the stick on. But now, Tyler Merritt, 4 seconds, just about 3.5 seconds up over 2nd place. Now we'll see what the actual pace difference is going to be. We'll pull up the lap times on our ticker once more. And as Merritt will cross the stripe, here he comes. No, he's not. There he is. Let's see what he registers at, a 3:15. Here comes 2nd. 2:16, so a 10th faster. So Kunman actually a skosh faster, but a skosh isn't going to eat up that big of a gap as Brad Kress coming to the pits.
Indeed, yes. Considering how short of a track this is and the lap times are in that 22-second range, creeping closer about a 10th per lap isn't, mathematically you might be able to do it, especially if that gap starts extending a bit, but considering the fact that these drivers still need to take a pit stop at minimum for fuel, and you might see some tire changing as well, but it's always going to be a gamble when it comes to strategies here. As the number 78
caution! Mark Gerald, the Cinnabon.
Oh, yeah, but that's 81.
The Cinnabon had the concrete dust, and now he just threw it on the floor. And that will hurt a lot of drivers' races by being in the middle of the cycle. And
Yep, on his own.
Yep. Now, there was two choices that he had right here, Patrick and Alex. If he hung it left, we stay green. He probably doesn't hit the wall, but he just spins through the grass. But he tried to save it, which is that's what your brain tells you to do. It tells you to try to save it. But unfortunately, it bit into the wall, and it bit here in the middle of our cycle. We'll have a green flag set of stops. All those drivers who did not pit are quite happy, and someone who is quite happy is going to be Alan Kunman, because he gets to eat up that 4-second gap and get some fresh tires.
Indeed, yeah. So, this is really going to play out very nicely for Kunman here. And pretty much, like you said, for all the drivers who didn't already pit. And I wonder if the Cinnabon's driver's night is done after that spin.
I like
Hopefully not. I may have learned a thing or two from Brad when it comes to making
puns aplenty.
Indeed, puns aplenty.
No.
I know the P stands for prime, but I think it's actually just pun time racing, and we just don't tell that to people.
Yeah, if I can come up with a full cheesy acronym for PTR TV, believe me, I would. Just haven't put enough thought into it. But Al Corey staying out, I think this is for TV time, because I cannot come up with any other explicable reason as to why he'd want to stay out. But, I've been surprised in the past, so who's to say? But again, if you're tuning in, thanks for tuning in. This is not the Cup Series that we usually tune in for on Sundays. This is now the ARCA Series, the Culture Designs 125. We are on, I believe, our second caution of the race. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Terry Brooks, that number 23 automobile. He is driving the sponsor of the race, Culture Design. So again, we want to thank him for helping put today's race on. A very clean race, a very interesting race, very much akin to what we saw in the Cup Series on Sunday in the real world, where tire strategies, green flag racing, a lot of fall-off comers and goers. This is a much better race than I kind of mentally prepared for going into it. But now here's the scary part, Patrick. It's the end of a short track race. All that goodness that we just had, it means nothing if this turns into a beating and banging brawl for the last 40.
Indeed, and I think so far out of the oval races I have done here so far, this one has the least cautions by a very considerable amount, which is very fantastic. It's been good racing here, good hard racing, as we love to see here on Primetime Racing, and it is green flag conditions. We're about to get underway here very, very shortly. Barney is there waiting to wave the green flag, and we're back underway here at Richmond. We see some positions already changing hands here. Tyler Merritt getting ahead of Al Corey, Alan Cudman getting ahead of Chad Winstead. Few other positions changing up and down this field, and I mean, it's no surprise that Tyler Merritt got the move done. He is on much fresher tires here at this stage of the race.
Yeah, Al Corey again. For those who didn't listen to us a couple minutes ago, he has yet to pit, and I'm pretty sure the mathematics will say that he has to pit for fuel, and that is Winstead into the fence, as Cutman will get second. He'll set his sights on Tyler Merritt. Does he have that pace on Merritt? Sorry, I'm just going to have to do that over and over again. But are we looking 3 wide? I thought we were for a second. Steve McClendon, who very good in the Cup car, just not really showing that ARCA pace. They are completely different cups of tea here. Those who are good in the ARCA car, usually good in the Xfinity car. They're probably the most comparable. But the next gen is its own different animal here. But Al Corey, as predicted, falling through the field. Entering Alicia Keys mode because he keeps on falling. And he will continue to do so until whatever the strategy is has to come to fruition.
I think a bit of a wall contact. I spotted in the back there.
Caution, no. Cinnabon again.
Nope. His night is just getting worse and worse as the night goes on. His race is going to be Cinnabon if he's not too careful here.
The Cinnabons are burnt. They're damaged. We got an employee calling out at some point. We just got to close the store early, and I think we might be getting to that point for that car, but we are not shutting down the Coors Light trailer here today. It is actually my new beer of choice. Just gonna, be fully honest on that. Got to beg my boy Andre for talking me into it. But I don't choose Mobile One. I am a Quaker State guy, but either way, Mobile One trying to chase that down, and they are dead even on laps. Last time by was a 1/100th of a second difference. Let's see what it is this time by, and another 1/100th of a difference on laps, but depending whose fan you are, that went to the advantage of the 38.
We know Tyler Merritt does have some really good pace here around Richmond, and we've been seeing it throughout the night. Another car that's been making some headlines here is that number 17 Polaroid car of Caleb Brown.
Right,
getting a bit of a snap there.
Right on cue.
Getting a picture-perfect snap there. Getting famous for all the wrong reasons. He is still trying to get a good pass here on to Mark Herzog and try to chase after Adam Moss. But I mean, it's much easier said than done. He's got to get the picture-perfect moment to try to get this pass done. But he's been running out of film. He's clearly listening to Outcast because he's trying to shake that car as if it's a Polaroid picture. Funny story, Outcast actually caused Polaroid to make a public statement saying, "Don't shake your Polaroid pictures." Of course, this goes back in the day when you took a picture with your camera and it literally spit out and printed instantly. Those days are actually, I think they came out with those cameras again, funnily enough, but that's a podcast topic, which we are actually starting a PTR TV podcast. It's in its foundational phases here. We haven't gotten it off the ground yet, but finally it is happening for all these silly topics. But not a silly topic as the 58 of Justin Baxter. Steph Curry setting it in for 3 underneath James Honeycutt. Contact washes them up the track, but they continue on. It's good, hard racing here in this field. It's getting a little too close for comfort in some stages, but these drivers are making the most of it here. As we see, it is still, once again, Justin Baxter versus James Honeycutt here. The 58 against the 76. And once again, the outside line proving to be at least semi-favorable, as that looked pretty scary from this view.
Yeah, he just changed lanes on corner entry, which usually when you're pointed on corner entry, and this applies to any form of racing, when you are turned into corner entry, usually you don't change your lane at that point. So how he did that kept control of the car is an interesting statement there. Brad Kress, he was a top 5 car, and I think I don't quite remember what happened to him, but he is now back to the 14th spot, getting by Al Corey, who is presumably going to have to make a pit stop and fall back to 2 laps down, unless he thinks he saved enough fuel. Maybe, they have the numbers, they can figure that stuff out live. Maybe he has saved enough fuel, don't quite know, but either way, this is the best battle on the track. We just showed it, 76 and 58. It was a good battle until he failed to exist. And who is that very, very colorful car ahead of that? Haven't spoke of Matt Harmon in the 28 once tonight. Very, very interesting ride there.
Yeah, it's like, at least in some angles, the number is kind of hard to read at some angles. But yeah, the number 28 machine of Matt Harmon making his way through, as we see Mark Herzog in the number 57 Toyota trying to go ahead and get a move done out of Adam Boss, trying to show him who is the boss. And I think he's going to try to get the move. He does move up into P5, but can he make it stick? That is the question. No, not yet. Doesn't quite make it stick. I think he might try to get it again in this corner. He is back up in a position, but the number 17 Polaroid of Caleb Brown trying to go ahead and capitalize on any mistake that these drivers may make just up ahead. But so far, he is still stuck in P17. Or P7. But yeah, that was a very dicey moment there from Herzog. He's going to definitely lose some ground there to the Twitch Mustang just up ahead, but he's even going to allow the Polaroid Mustang of Caleb Brown to try to make a move here.
Yeah, that 57 really struggling on corner exit here, and just watch it. Oh, just as I say that, he has a smooth corner exit here, but the 17, he's like, you left me exactly one car like to the outside, and I'm going to fill it with my number 17, and just here we come off corner exit. Yep, Herzog has to leave the space. And that outside is, I'd say it's not just a defensive line at this point. I think it's now becoming an offensive line. And that 17, you can see here he comes. Just he can't clear, but he clearly has the advantage. Just might take 3 or 4 laps for it to fully situate to clear the pass.
I mean, we saw it earlier on
Herzog.
in the earlier stages. Oh yeah, he had a bit of a moment there as we saw it just a little bit, but going back to the previous point, I mean, we saw how hard Alec Kudman had to fight to try to get a position on the Chad Winstead. It took till after the pit stops for him to finally get the move on the 97. So sometimes, I mean, you just got to keep at it. You got to stay focused, keep giving it another go, give it the old college try, as Brad would say. And sometimes, if you try hard enough, you will succeed eventually.
There's a couple songs, and I couldn't figure out which song I wanted to throw into the pun machine there, so I'll just choose to do none of them. But Tyler Merritt, that number 38 car, what is his race details? He started, he's led 45 laps, and he started 5th. Really took him till about, lap 60, just kind of ran 4th most of the race. There was that battle in front of him with Winstead, with Kunman, and who is the other driver that that has since left my brain, but there was somebody else, Adam Schoen. They were battling. He took that as an opportunity to drive past all of them over the course of about 10 laps, and ever since he's done that, this has been his race. Kunman got close, 2-3 tenths for a few laps, but now it's clear that that 38 has the most pace here today, and I'm now being told his moniker is Tyler Thumbsticks Merritt. So whether he drives on a joypad, I would imagine so, but if you can do this on a joypad, that's dangerous stuff.
Oh my, yeah, I couldn't even imagine racing on iRacing with a controller. That just sounds like it's rough. Yeah, and I feel like it'd be worse for tire degradation too, just because, I mean, there's some ways you can be a bit smoother. The trick I've learned for when I'm playing on the PlayStation for Gran Turismo is if I hold the analog stick up and then ease into the corner with the joystick, but, I mean, it's always going to be smoother with a wheel, so, I mean, if he is actually racing on a controller, then kudos to Tyler.
And at least the PlayStation controller has the force feedback trigger, so you can kind of feel wheel spin and lock up a little bit. I don't think that would translate into iRacing. Again, Herzog That In-N-Out, we talked about, squished Cinnabons here today. In-N-Out Burger, known for high customer service, but we might be coming back in to return that burger there. That has been very much decimated. Terry Brooks, race sponsor. He's having some agricultural endeavors there on the front stretch, but carries on. And Al Corey,
I've actually never...
making his pit stop, as expected.
I was just going to say, I've actually never had an In-N-Out burger, which I've heard is extremely blasphemous here in the U.S., but...
And the best part is they're cheap. Even in the state of California, you can get a combo for like $9, and they pay their employees fabulously. So anyone that says that they can't afford to pay fast food workers good wages, talk to In-N-Out Burger, because they're doing it. But let's not turn that way, because I'll get myself canceled. But anywho, we're 3 abreast here for the 10th position. This has been kind of the money spot as of late. 76 Honeycutt trying to get to the inside of Baxter. The endless side-by-side is what's having a situation here, and some contact entering the back stretch. And again, these guys can't sort it out, and Brad Kress wants to be eating the sandwich.
Yeah, he wants to go ahead and get into that flow state in that flow racing Mustang and just try to just flow on past these drivers here and try to make moves here. And here's a bit of a gaggle here. We see quite a few cars going ahead and getting ready for some battle here as Caleb Brown is trying to chase down Steve McClendon. But Alan Boss is trying to show Caleb who's boss here in that number 83 Twitch Mustang. He's going to go ahead and try to get these moves done. You only got about 15 laps to go. Not a lot of racing left, especially considering that this is basically a 3/4 mile track. So, I mean, it is...
5 minutes of racing if this goes green.
Yeah, 5 minutes of racing, so it's pretty much make or break time here for these drivers.
And remember, this can go into overtime. This is not over yet. In the words of Chris Daughtry, he says it's not over, and it is not over. They have to do it right this time around, but I'd rather do left because, never mind, someone must have turned right. Daniel Williams.
Oh, yeah, that is.
The happy dad Ford.
Here.
Is he a happy dad? No, he turned left, and then he turned right.
Well, he kept it on the wall, so you can be happy about that at least.
Yeah, that's called an algorithmic caution more than a necessary caution. It was just enough to, of course, being on automated service, automated race control, there has to be certain parameters to throw a caution, so that caution didn't need to exist, but the algorithm was triggered, and it puts us under caution. Most people do not have tires. In fact, nobody has tires, so pit road will be a useless place, barring any damage repair. Al Corey, 2 laps down. He won't get any of them back because there won't be a wave around, and he's not the lucky dog. So that strategy will go down in the record books as, what the hell were you doing? But, I'm close with these guys. I roast them. If I get yelled at in chat, so be it. But either way, maybe a heat cycle on the tires, maybe something could give Alan Cunman another chance here, but that 38 is just too stout.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Merritt has definitely been the class of the field here tonight. He has been showing excellent pace, and he's never really relinquished that lead ever since he got it. So, I mean, a very strong drive from him here tonight. And, I mean, Alan Goodman's been getting an A for effort, that is for certain. But, I mean, unfortunately, he's just not been able to really make these moves stick when it counted.
He did lead, even though he never actually took the lead. He got it at the stripe for at least 4 laps. So, I mean, that's at least something to hang your head on. And remember, he had that issue when Winstead got into the wall. He fell back to 6th the way that it shook out. So the fact that he's gotten that track position back is actually quite a good way to look at it. You can kind of salvage something out of the race now, knowing that 38 is just too fast. And we're getting told in chat, no, he deserves it, roast away. I'll roast away. He's back at the pit, so he already pitted. Did he take a fast repair? He did not take a fast repair. He has no damage. He pitted, so he has fuel. He doesn't have any tires, so what the hell is he pitting for, and why did he stay out? these are questions. These are questions, and I got told to go back and roast him again. I was going to stop, but I really have no idea what that pit strategy was. Genuinely. Do you?
I mean,
you're here for a one-off. If you get fired, it doesn't matter.
I will say that's one of the more bizarre strategies I've seen, but
he's afraid.
Coming from the what I was gonna say was coming from the F1 side, that's basically the equivalent of putting a full set of wets on in the middle of Jeddah, full-on desert track, which I have actually seen twice. So it's essentially the Ferrari strategy of this field here tonight.
Or I guess putting wets on. We actually ran with wets at Richmond in the real world a couple of years ago. If only iRacing would let rain happen on ovals one of these days. Hashtag soon. But 8 laps to go. Will something throw this race off? Early, way early there is that 38. That gets everybody sleeping. Green flag in the air with 8 laps to go. Winstead, he's going to be to the inside, but I think that outside is going to be just fine for Alan Cunman. But all this side by side, that'll give him the lead that he already has the pace, but now he just has that extra buffer. As I think it's Al Corey getting loose in the background.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, I think he just wants this race to be done. He wants to collect that checkered flag. He wants to collect the trophy. He wants to collect the points from winning here tonight. So he just wants this race to be done and dusted. So I don't blame him for going ahead and going early.
That's Harmon. Hard contact from that number 28. Keeps it straight, keeps it forward here. Just behind that, these are the guys that have been going crazy all race. Baxter, that 58, that Hendrick, Kyle Larson-esque car. Brad Kress, our sponsor, Terry Brooks. If a caution's going to come out and interrupt this race one more time, it's going to come from this gaggle here, still side by side.
Indeed, and there is only about 5 laps left to go soon. I think we're just about to hit that 5 laps to go. Oh, there's a spin.
That's Herzog.
That might bring out the caution. Yes, it does.
That's Herzog. Remember, we saw him many times getting dead sideways underneath drivers and just really struggling getting the power down. This time he's by himself. Didn't have anybody to get in his way. But yeah, just straight lost it. Adam Boss, great job to not make that any worse. But that will put us into unsponsored overtime here. I mean, that 38, he went so early. We don't have restart zones enabled or any. They just say it's go on the leader, but there's no specific. They don't have to use the restart zone. And I don't think anybody was expecting him to go when he did. And that just gave Merritt such a jump.
Indeed, I even see in chat is, are we going to actually, are we going to let the controller win? As somebody who does actively race on a controller, I kind of want to see that happen just because I think it'd be funny. But yeah, Tyler Merritt has done a lot of good work here tonight. I mean, if he wins this race, he's definitely won it on merit.
You gotta love how that works out, and that'll work out all season. But yeah, he's done everything he needs to do. It's not been gifted to him. He drove to the lead. He used tire wear in a race that wasn't supposed to have tire wear. He used it, he drove through, made good moves. Remember, he was making those 3 wide lunges, which even though they were scary, he wasn't, getting anybody squirrely, didn't make any contact. He got in everyone's head, forced mistakes, took the lead, and just drove away with the race. Cunman, you have to feel for him. He just can't seem to shake that 97. They are just Velcroed together. He can't get by him, can't shake him. But he's going to have to figure something out. Anything can happen on a green-white checker restart for overtime, but it's a matter you have to get the restart and stay with the leader to have any chance.
Indeed. I mean, you really don't have a lot of racing left to go here. So you really got to pretty much, if you're going to go for a move, now it's pretty much the optimal time to go ahead and try to get a move done and dusted. So we'll have to see how the rest of this race plays out. Alan Cunman is in a good spot, but he's got to make a move stick, and that's been a bit of an issue for him here tonight. I mean, particularly in the battle with Chad Winstead, he just hasn't been able to make a lot of these moves stick. He did have a very good recovery drive, though, from his moment earlier on in the race, going from P6 now into the runner-up spot, and he does have a chance of winning here, but he's really just got to lick the stamp and send it at this point.
Yep, and just try to do it in a way that, looks good in the record books after this one is situated here. But we are turning the lights off, and we will go green lap number 126. So this will be at minimum 128 lap affair. I do believe we have one extra one in the bank if memory does serve. And maybe I can double check that very quickly, but I think we have 2 green-white checkers to avail. So if this ain't enough, there should be another opportunity, even though we'd rather not that be the case. Can Merritt come through and get this race situated? Will come and get the restart that he desires? Or how about the 97? He led a lot of laps early on the loud pedal, and another whole shot for the 38. And surprise to nobody. Actually, no, Cummins managed to clear. And he'll get to the inside. Maybe he has a chance.
He might have a chance, but he's really got to go ahead and get a move on. He's got to go ahead and light a fire under himself to really try to get a move done here. But even then, Chad Winstead could prove to be a problem again as the white flag does come out. So it is the final lap of racing here. So it's pretty much make or break time now, as we go ahead and get our way through final lap of this race. And it's a bit of contact there for Alan Kunman, and I think that's his chances of a race win just falling away at the seams here.
And Tyler Merritt will get the race win there. Alan Kunman gave it everything he had, but it's not enough. He was a second place car all race, and I mean, it didn't look as easy as it came, but he will get that second place. But Tyler Thumbsticks Merritt will get the win here today at the Richmond Raceway in the Culture Designs 125. And started 5th, drove through the field, and once he got to the lead, just nobody had anything for him. Let's see if he's going to do any celebratory activities, and I guess he's just going to run really fast, and then he's going to hit the inside wall. So clearly that car is illegal, and he hit the inside wall to help him pass tech inspection. That's the only plausible statement there. But that is the end of our race. So let's go down and start our post-race show, give you the final rundown of results here today from Richmond, and we'll have you start off the roll-off there for us, Patrick.
I mean, that has been a very strong race. Taking a look at our results here, it is Tyler Merritt taking the win here after a very strong drive on the controller. And then it is Alan Kunman, Chad Winstead, Steve McClendon, Alan Boss, Caleb Brown, Matt Harmon, Ben Harcum, James Hunga, and Brad Kress rounding out a top 10.
And then we'll go back 11th through 20th. We have Mark Herzog. He had many of issues. And Dylan Freeman in 12th. Nicholas Deal 13th. Donald Ristow in 14th. Justin Baxter, he was someone to watch here today. Very interesting. Terry Brooks, our race sponsor. Then we have Ward Fisher, Josh Duncan, Tyler Rulis, and Daniel Williams. And very quickly, just to read off the last page, Al Corey with the absolutely ridiculous strategy in 21st. Mark Gerald, that Cinnabon is closed. I don't know if it'll even reopen. We'll see what his sponsor is next week. Cam Kane, Adam Schoen, Alex Squire, and then Kyle Gresh. He didn't take any laps here today, but we'll get ourselves situated, head down to Victory Circle. And do I have him? Is the $1 million question. Number 38. I don't see him, so we'll have to jump down on the list to Alan Cumming. You got the second place. Alan, you were side by side with Chad for 97% of this race, and I know there's a balance of it's fun and it's frustrating. Where were you in that situation of being side by side for 40 laps? What was your mentality?
I was more on the side of it being fun. Mainly just because Chad's my teammate. So if it was anybody else, I probably would have been leaning more towards the frustration side, but it was fun. I did get a little frustrated, but it was fun.
Yeah, because obviously you were battling for so long, and then Tyler got, he was making those 3 wide dives. He got by you, and then you had that reset, you had that pit stop. Did you think that, fresh tires, I got 50 some odd laps. Did you think that you were going to have something, or did you know he had some pace that you couldn't match?
Well, I thought I did. I thought with Al staying out, I was expecting a 3 wide into turn 1 on the restart, but Al just got such a great restart that that didn't happen. And Tyler, I think he was able to get to the inside and then get around Al, so I just followed him through. And I tried to get to him for a few laps, and then I just kind of backed off, tried to save a little bit, but I didn't save enough.
I did not save enough, but luckily you drove back from the 5th or 6th that you fell back to. You got yourself back to 2nd, and that's a good drive nonetheless. And we'll see what you can do next week, man. Good drive tonight.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And Patrick, I'll let you take our race winner. Head right to Victory Circle. Tyler Thumbstick Merritt is in Victory Lane with us, and I'll let you have a few words with him.
All right, Tyler. So, I mean, it was a very fantastic drive, and I mean, you had some wicked pace out there. You definitely won this race on merit. How did you find it out there tonight?
Well, honestly, in practice, I had no practice until the session opened. After qualifying, I was like, okay, I might be top 5, maybe, but then after the first caution, I saw how bad the top 2 were fighting each other. I'm like, okay, let's go to tire saving mode and just wait for them to keep battling each other, burning their tires up. And then I'm like, if we get a long run, I can just blow by them, because I don't like this car, but I know how much tire saving matters in this one. So I was like, let's just let them battle out, and I'll gap them once a long run comes in, and that's what happened.
I mean, indeed. I mean, also, just a question that I didn't know this fact about you until today, but is there a particular reason that you do not like driving a wheel and you prefer using a controller?
For one, I don't take this as seriously enough to invest in a rig, and also, honestly, I'm burnt out on the sim. I race maybe 6 times a week, and that includes leagues and officials, so I really don't want to invest money into something I may quit by the end of the year kind of thing. I don't think I will, but it's a possibility. And also, I work a very labor-intensive job. I'm on my feet all day on concrete, so let's just say I don't want to be making my feet even more exhausted when I get home.
That is perfectly understandable. One more question for you before we go ahead and let you go is, it is Daytona next week. How are you feeling about Daytona?
I'm going to be riding in the back until like 15 to go, probably maybe 15, 20 to go. I'm going to be playing it safe. I will be hopefully staying in the back of the pack, just forward enough to where if there's a stack up, I can still stay with the main pack, but that's about it.
All right. Well, once again, congratulations on your win, and we will see you next week.
All right, you guys have a good night, and I will say one more thing. Shout out to the boys at Elliott Salary Sports and also Elliott himself. Thanks for bringing him to the team at the beginning of the year. And Liam Brotherton, because he was giving me a couple pointers. I know this is a custom set, but he was giving me a couple pointers this afternoon, being like, hey, you should do this in general short track, so I didn't burn my tires up or anything. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. Congrats on the win. And like I said, we'll see you next week.
All right, you guys have a good night.
And then we'll wrap up our post-race show with 3rd place, Chad Winstead. Chad, you were battling with Alan for so many laps here today. And obviously, that must have been fun. He said he was having fun, and you guys still battled to the very end, man. Kind of summarize your race for us. Oh, he's in
I
it.
believe you're muted.
Yep.
No, there he is.
Sorry, guys.
All right.
I know how to operate this thing.
Do you need me to repeat what I said, or do you got me?
No, you're good, man. Yeah, it was a great battle with Alan. We had a lot of fun. Alan's a friend of mine, and we were just having fun riding up front together. Told him I wasn't gonna make it easy on him, and I didn't. So we had a good battle. I think the first part of the race was definitely more fun for me when I was leading, but I'll take a top 3 to start the season.
So we were privy pre-race to information from Al Corey, which take that for what it may be. He said tire wears didn't mean anything here today, and we proved that it clearly meant something, because Tyler blew by you guys like you weren't even standing still. How did that actually feel in the car today as those tires degraded? Where did that grip loss actually tend to apply?
Yeah, I definitely applied to my right front because it left the chat on about lap 50. But yeah, I would say tire wear mattered more tonight than probably any other race that we've ran so far in this ARCA series, from what I could tell. I mean, I told the guys before the race that Richmond is not notoriously a track that I can save tire on very well. I'm always fairly quick here, but can never save tire, and that rang true again tonight.
So we've already roasted Al plenty today. You obviously just completely said everything he said was backwards. Do you want to say anything to Al about his completely incorrect information that he gave us?
Well, it's kind of like when you stay out and everybody else pits. It sounds like Al's just a little backwards, but sorry, Al. Just playing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We couldn't figure that strategy out either. But either way, man, congrats on a solid podium run. You led a lot of laps. You had some fun, and we'll see what you can do at Daytona next week.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Thanks for the broadcast. It's a lot of fun tonight. Thanks for all the guys for putting this league on, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. All right, so that'll wrap things up here. Again, we want to thank our race sponsor here today in the form of Terry Brooks, the number 23 car. This league is brought to you by the broadcasts, are brought to you by driver sponsors, so we want to thank him for what he did. Patrick, you walked into a really good race, a short track race. I know you were worried about cautions. We covered a race together that had 17, but this race was kind of a good mix of some hard battling and some good short track racing.
Yeah, this track was absolutely fantastic. It was a fun race. The drivers had fun. We had fun here at the commentary booth. And yeah, I think this rest of the season is going to be a fun one.
Absolutely. So make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, have some fun. We will be back tomorrow. Patrick, I think I'm actually working with you tomorrow on an Elbows Up broadcast. You'll probably be the lead one there because that's your cup of tea. I'm going to be joining your normality. So that'll be something you'll watch on PTR TV tomorrow, Wednesday night if you're here live. And then we'll be back Sunday night with more Triple Bypass Cup Series racing. Make sure you stay tuned for that. That'll be Corey and Patrick signing out of the booth. Have a great night. We'll catch you next time.